Welcome, guys. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Terry. It's a really beautiful day here. Welcome, everyone, to Stone Street Farm. We're here on our nursery farm. Yes, today would have been Preakness Day. We won't get to see the race, but we will see our resident Preakness winner. So welcome you all. Thanks for tuning in. My name's Hillary. If you guys have any questions throughout, please feel free to ask me. So we'll go in and we'll see a few of our mares and foals, and then we'll see Rachel before she and her paddock mates go out. So we'll go into the barn. So our foals are up right now. They've just had their lunch. They're getting ready to go back outside. So they do spend most of their time outside. They do come up for just a breakfast and a lunch, and they're not in the barn for very long. Most of them take this time to take a nap, like this colt here. This is a Curlin colt out of a mare you all most likely recognize. This is cavorting. Cavorting raced in Stone Street Stables. She was a graded stakes winner all the years that she was on the racetrack. She's a very talented filly. So I said she's got a Curlin colt this year. Curlin, of course, is the other Preakness winner to race in Stone Street Silks. He's demonstrating what a lot of these foals do when they come into the barn. They get a little bit of a break from one another. The mares will have some grain, and the foals can take a nap. And, Ginger has asked that he wants to be on the tour. This is one of our barn cats, Ginger. One of the more famous residents here of this barn. Hi, Ginger. So we do have barn cats in all the barns, but Ginger's the friendliest by far. If you come for a tour, he will most likely make an appearance. He also likes to turn our See Rachel days into See Ginger days. So I said these foals have just come in for a little bit. They won't be in the barn for very long. They're ready to go back out, just like Rachel. So she's on the same schedule as our mares and foals. We have Tangier and her Uncle Mo colt, also taking a nap. So in each time these foals come up into the barn, we'll run our hands down their legs, check them over, we take their temperatures. We're monitoring their health very closely, monitoring their growth. You can see this filly, she's a Cantharos filly. It's by Marcelina, out of Marcelina d'Oro. She's the oldest foal in this barn. So she can see she's a little bit bigger than these other two foals that we've just seen. And so with all the foals, we are behaving as personal trainers for them. So we want them to reach their physical best, their personal physical best. So she will be on a different schedule feed-wise from that cavorting colt. We'll be sure she comes along and grows into a beautiful mare just like her mother. So we have about 80 foals a year. And this year we have 81. We've got a few more colts than fillies, which is just fine by us. And the foaling season, of course, runs January through May. All of these foals were born around the same time. So they were each born around March and April. This is a Ghost Sapper filly out of Bella Dorado. So all these foals were born around the same time, so you can see they're all relatively the same size. They're all in the same developmental stages, so they're able to go out into those big paddocks together. So when they go back outside, they can go out and form friendships in the herd, form bonds, so that way when they are weaned, when these mares go to a second foaling or mare facility that we have here in Kentucky, all the foals will stay behind with the same foals they've known all their lives. We do keep some of the foals to race with Lorraine, and we also sell foals, or yearlings rather, at sales like the Keeneland September sale and the Face of Tipton sales. We'll visit with two of the mares in this barn. Do not have foals. So this is the Hess Express, and she's sticking her head through and saying hello to Moonlight Sonata. So these are two mares that have been pensioned from our broodmare band, so they are retired. They had their last foal several years ago. All the mares that retire from our broodmare band stay with us, and most of them don't live on this farm. They mostly live on our second mare facility, but these two are here for a very important purpose. They're Rachel Alexandra's paddock mates. We'll see them here in a second go out with Rachel. So it would have been Preakness Day. We're happy to take you all through, see some of these mares. Speaking of another Preakness sired foal. So this is a Curlin filly out of Burned. Burned is a new addition to our band. She was purchased to join the band. We have a lot of fillies that retire from our racing stable into our broodmare band, so we get to see their families grow and expand over the years. But we also purchase mares, so we can add in new bloodlines. And Burned was one such mare. She was a graded stakes winner. This is her first foal, this Curlin filly. See, she's got those Curlin back socks. We'll move through. See just one more mare in foal. Here we have Fantastic Style. She's got a quality road filly. As I mentioned, most of these foals are taking a nap. They get a little bit of a break when they come up into the barn. When they're out in the fields, they're spending most of their time running up and down the hills, playing with one another. And you often see if one foal tries to take a nap, the other foals will try to get them up to play. So this just gives them a little bit of a break from one another. They can get some rest before they go back out. Hi, Mary. And they're keeping a very watchful eye on all of us. You can see, so it's starting to get a little bit warmer here. As I mentioned, these foals won't stay in the barn for very long, but when they do, we have our barns designed so that we can allow airflow to come through these breezeways, so we can keep them cool on warmer days. And then we've also got those windows in the stalls so the airflow can come through. And when it's warm, or when it's cold rather, and we want to keep the barn warm, we can close all those doors off, and all the heat will be trapped up here in the second story that we have on the barn. And that second story is also the home to the hay and straw in our barns. So we can drop them down from that second story straight into the stalls. And speaking of fillies retiring from the racing stable to the broodmare band, this is Valadorna. She was a graded stakes winner. She won the Double Dog Dare Stakes at Keeneland. This is her first foal. She's got an Into Mischief colt. Hi, buddy. So, and here's Rachel. It's Rachel Alexandra. So as I mentioned, she's on the same schedule as these mares and foals. So she'll come up for breakfast and for lunch, and she's getting ready to go back out. So she doesn't stay up into the barn for very long. She'll go out with those two mares that we visited with, Moonlight Sonata and the Hess Express. And she really won't stay up in the barn unless we have some serious weather. That's the same for all these foals. So if there's a major storm coming through, they'll stay up in the barn. But it's really the best for them to spend the majority of their time outside. So they can run up and down the hills, get time to be a horse. I think we're ready. We'll have Rachel come out. We'll be able to see her up close. I'll move over here. So Carlos will be showing her for us today. So this is a rubber brick. It's a non-slick surface, Abby. So that way we can hose it down and clean it off. And even when it's wet, you can't slip on it. Now, sometimes they are a little reluctant to come in, but they are rewarded, the foals and the mares are, for coming up to the fence at the same time every day. They'll get a little bit of grain. So that way it kind of instills the routine into them. And the foals will keep that routine even when they are weaned. So we don't have any American Pharaoh babies this year. So if you want to take her over here into the sunlight. So here's Miss Rachel Alexandra. She's 14 this year. She's born in 2006. She, of course, was the Horse of the Year champion 3-year-old filly in 2009. She won the Preakness Stakes that year. She entered the Preakness after her runaway win in the Kentucky Oaks. She won by over 20 lengths. And the Preakness was her first start in the Stone Street Silks. Her jockey, Calvin Burrell, he had won the Kentucky Derby that year on Mind That Bird, so he had the choice to ride either the Oaks winner or the Derby winner, and he picked Rachel. The rest, as they say, is history. So she defeated Mind That Bird, as well as a group of very talented 3-year-olds. She became just the the first filly in 85 years to win the Preakness Stakes. It's an incredible effort from her. We'll come around. No, she wasn't done beating the boys in 2009. She won the Haskell Stakes, as well as she was the first female to win the Woodward Stakes. And the Hess Express, who we saw a little earlier, who's one of her paddock mates, she's actually the dam of Bulls Bay. He's a graded stakes winner. He finished 3rd behind Rachel in the Woodward Stakes. When Rachel joined the Broodmare band, she was bred to 2 Preakness winners. So her first foal was by Curlin. It's a colt named Jess's Dream. He's now standing at Ocala Stud. His first foals are 2-year-olds this year, so we'll see them on the racetrack here very shortly. And the next year she was bred to Bernardini. And her foal by Bernardini is named Rachel's Valentina, active in our Broodmare band. And she's had 2 Curlin foals. Her first foal was a colt by Curlin named Alejandro. She had a filly by Pioneer of the Nile last year, who's now at our yearling farm. And then this year she had another Curlin filly, born on April 6th. Come around and let you guys see her face. Rachel earned over $3 million on the racetrack. She was inducted into the Hall of Fame. And she was very feisty on the racetrack, but she's since calmed down quite a bit since she's come on the farm. She's very sweet. She's very welcoming towards her fans as well. So we host biannual See Rachel Days. Those contests through our social media pages so folks can come and see her. And she's very calm, very patient with her fans. She's always happy to say hello to everyone. This is most of what she does on See Rachel Days. She calmly poses. People will hug her, take photos with her, and she's just such a professional. She takes it all in stride. So do you all have any questions about Rachel? Rachel's 14 this year. She's born in 2006. She's by Medaglia d'Oro. You can see she's got a lot of the same physical traits as Medaglia d'Oro. She's the same size. She's 16'2", so she's a big, powerful mare. It definitely helped her out on the racetrack. She has a full sister that's also in our not our racing stable, in our Broodmare band. Her name is Samantha Nicole. Samantha Nicole just had her foal this year. She had a distorted humor colt. Yeah, she's very calm. She's used to this. She knows she's a celebrity, so she knows how to pose. Her favorite treat is peppermints by far. She gets quite a few bags of peppermints on her birthday, shipped to her by fans. She does like to run in her paddock. She may run here in a little bit when she gets turned out. It just kind of depends on her mood of the day. Then she'll be turned out in a paddock here down the line. So you can see we've got some smaller paddocks that our mares and foals will go into when the foals are first born. Then towards the back is Rachel's paddock, that's quite a bit bigger. And she just shares that with those 2 retired mares. So she has the option to do quite a bit of running if she chooses. So Rachel is still breathing sound. After she had Rachel's Valentina, she had surgery. And she has not been bred since. She's still capable of having a foal, but she's not in foal this year. Both her foals were winners. Jess's Dream was a debut winner, and Rachel's Valentina was a grade 1 winner. Her win in the Spinaway Stakes was the 6th anniversary of Rachel Alexandra's Woodward win. So it's a big day for us in Stone Street Stables. So we're not sure when the next See Rachel Day will be, but we will definitely post to our social media pages when we know. And Samantha is similar to Rachel, personality-wise, Marianne. I would say she's a little bit friendlier. She's more willing to come up to the fence when she sees you go by, versus Rachel, she's friendly when she's up, but she definitely enjoys her time being out in her paddock. Yes, she had surgery after she delivered Valentina. That was that was her second foal. She's not in foal this year. So we're not sure when the tours will reopen, and we never guarantee that you'll be able to see Rachel on the tours. She's only guaranteed when you come for the See Rachel Days. It's really, really a beautiful day here. A perfect day for her to go back out. Like I said, she does spend most of her time outside. She really only comes up into the barn twice a day. She'll get a bath once a week. The rest of the time she's out being a horse, just enjoying all this beautiful Kentucky weather. So do you all have any other questions? So there are quite a few people that take care of Rachel. Carlos is one and Ricky is another. He showed her in another live stream that we did. And Rachel's bonded pretty strongly to both of them. So Calvin Burrell has visited, but not in some time. We're really happy to share her with you guys. We've gotten some great feedback on the last few videos that we've posted. Oh, it's hard to say which of her races would be my favorite. She was just so dominant on the track, but her Preakness win was the first horse race I ever watched, and I just thought it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. She was just so dominant and so incredible to watch, and so she's really been inspiring for me and for so many other people. It's great when we hear stories of her fans on the See Rachel Days, just how much she means to us and how much she means to all of you. Yeah, she gets a bath once a week, Rosie. Miss Mickey will come visit her quite a bit. So here, I'll come a little closer for you so you can see her face. That distinctive blaze. So her favorite treat is peppermints. She's big on peppermints. I think for her last birthday, one fan was very sweet and sent about a 3-pound bag of peppermints for her. So she didn't have them all at once, of course, but we'd be very happy to welcome you guys once the tours are resumed. We don't have a date for that just yet. When we do, we'll be sure to share it with you. She definitely knows she's special here. So you all have any other questions? So I think we're ready for her to go out. You want to grab her fly mask? So Rachel will go out with a fly mask. So people always ask us if they can see through them. You can, absolutely. It's kind of like looking through a screen door. Just protects her from any nagging insects like the flies. Most of the mares on our farm will wear them. We're getting towards the fly season here, so they'll become much more commonplace on the farm. And we'll have her joined by her 2 paddock mates before they go out. They always go out together. We do use fly spray as well. but the fly mats just keep them better protected when they're out in their paddocks. So she is by Medaglia d'Oro Michelle, and she's out of a mare named Lotta Kim, who's by Roar. She's got one full sister named Samantha Nicole, who's in our broodmare band, and she's got another named Gladys, who I believe is a 2-year-old this year. So we have visited with Rachel's Valentina on previous tours, and hopefully we'll see Samantha Nicole here very soon. We'll make our way down to the paddock. You can even see off in the distance, give you an idea of where our nursery farm is. Out there, that's the Keeneland Water Tower. So some of the foals that we've seen in the barn will go there when they sell at the Keeneland September sale. So we're not far away from there at all. So Lotta Kim is not on our farm, just Samantha Nicole and Rachel herself. She's very excited to go back out. She loves her paddock time. These two as well. So Moonlight Sonata and the Hess Express are 2 of 12 retired mares that we have. I mentioned most of them live at our second mare facility, but these two are here to keep Rachel company. All the mares that retire from our broodmare band will stay with us. We'll go to join that retired herd. So she's in one of the larger paddocks. This paddock is about 40 acres. So we'll see. The last time that we did this, they did take off running, but we'll see if they're feeling quite so frisky today. Everybody ready? Maybe not an explosive break from the gate here. They will go off. So these mares are, the 2 mares that are with Rachel are 19 and 21. So they don't do quite as much running as Rachel does. And of course they can't match her speed. I mentioned the Hess Express is the dam of Bulls Bay. It's a graded stakes winner. He was 3rd behind Rachel in the Woodward. And Moonlight Sonata is the dam of a graded stakes winner named Wilburn. They're both great producers. They had their last foal several years ago. They came to join Rachel in this paddock. Yeah, I think they're more enjoying a lazy Saturday here. Not sure we'll get them running off like we did in the first visit. Rachel may roll for us here though. So Rachel doesn't mind the heat. It's not very warm here. It's about in the mid-70s. It's a beautiful day at the moment. We may get some rain later on, but it really is just the perfect weather to be out and about. Did you guys have any other questions? There she goes. That's Rachel having a roll here. Maggie Hawk is doing really well, Mary. We visited with our some of our other retired mares in a previous live stream. If you've missed any of these tours, we post them all to YouTube. And we also save our Facebook Live videos to our Facebook page. And we've got a blog post on our website that has the schedule for our virtual tours. So you can always stay up to date on what we'll be doing. So yeah, she will stay out all night. And she'll just come up for breakfast tomorrow morning. Yeah, we've got plenty of birds out here. You have a question on Instagram, Equestrian Gear 19. So she keeps her mask on. Sometimes they will knock them off, but for the most part, they're good about keeping them on. And no, they will stay out overnight. They'll only come up into the barn twice a day, as I mentioned, for breakfast and for lunch. But she's going to stay out. She won't come back up until tomorrow morning. Sometimes she'll come if you call your name, but not always. She does really enjoy being out here in her paddock, so how many horses do we own? Quite a bit. So we have over 100 brood mares. We'll have about 80 foals a year. And then we've got about 80 yearlings as well, and the horses in our racing stable. So the number changes all the time. So we're still having foals. We've got one mare left to foal to finish out the season. The number will change as we purchase horses, as horses retire to the broodmare band. And they handle the hot temps pretty well here. Horses are masters of thermal regulation. So they've wandered off. You can just see little dots of them over there by the water. If you all have any other questions before I wrap up. So they do come up. For the most part, they come up on their own. Like I said, they get a treat for coming up to the fence at the proper time each day. Sometimes they'll be a little reluctant. Color says sometimes Rachel would rather stay out in her paddock than come up into the barn. And it really just depends on the horse and that individual day. So thank you all for joining us so much. We will save this to our Facebook page. We'll save it on our Instagram story as well, so you can revisit in the future. And we will post to our YouTube channel, so you can come back and watch these videos as well as any of the previous tours that we've done. It's just a really, really beautiful day here in Kentucky. Thank you all for joining us. If you have any questions that I didn't answer throughout the tour, please feel free to leave a comment on our Facebook page or send us a message on Instagram. Thank you guys so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and I'll see you all on the next tour.